Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. I am so excited for this one. Today, we are going to be diving into the world of visualization for weight loss.
Ooh,
And we have a ton of research
yeah.
and expert opinions and stories to dig through. I've always kind of been fascinated by the idea that our minds can actually really influence our bodies.
Yeah, for sure. It's more than just an idea.
Yeah.
There's a really compelling science that backs up this connection between our
Okay.
minds and our bodies. And what I think is so fascinating is that when we visualize something,
Mm-hmm.
our brains actually fire neurons in a very similar pattern
Oh, wow.
as if we were actually physically doing that activity.
So, our brains don't really know the difference between what we imagine and what we're actually doing.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not exactly that our brains can't tell the difference.
Okay.
It's more like our brains treat visualization as a form of mental rehearsal.
Ah.
And the more we practice those visualizations, the stronger those neural pathways become.
Okay, so there are actual neurological things happening
Yeah.
when we visualize.
Absolutely.
This isn't just wishful thinking.
No, no, no. It's a real phenomenon. Think of it this way. Neural pathways, they're like roads
Okay.
that our thoughts travel on. The more we visualize a certain action,
Mm-hmm.
the more we're paving that road,
Wow.
making it easier for our brains to direct our bodies to actually perform that action.
So in the case of weight loss, if I'm constantly visualizing myself making healthy choices,
Yeah,
that road is becoming more well-traveled and it's easier to actually make those choices in real life.
exactly. You got it. We're essentially priming our minds and bodies for success.
Wow.
It's like an athlete mentally rehearsing their performance before a big game.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
They're visualizing themselves, succeeding.
Absolutely.
And that helps them to actually perform better when it comes time for the real deal.
And that mental rehearsal can also really help build self-efficacy too.
Yes, exactly.
Like that belief that we can actually achieve our goals.
Precisely. The more we visualize ourselves succeeding, the more confident we become in our ability to actually do it.
Right.
It creates this powerful feedback loop.
But it's not just about seeing that number on the scale, is it?
Right. Visualizing for weight loss, it should go beyond just that number.
Okay.
It's about creating this vivid picture of your ideal self. How do you feel? What clothes are you wearing? What activities are you enjoying?
So if I'm aiming to lose weight so I can hike more easily,
Yeah,
I should be visualizing myself on that trail and feeling strong and energized and, wearing those new hiking boots.
exactly. Engaging all of your senses in your visualization is key to making it more powerful.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned some research that backs this up. Can you tell us more about what scientists are discovering about visualization and weight loss?
Absolutely. So there's this really fascinating study from the Cleveland Clinic
Right.
that found that people who regularly visualize themselves making healthier food choices,
Mm.
they actually lost more weight than those who didn't.
So there's actual evidence
Yes.
that this works.
Yes, there's real scientific evidence
That's amazing.
that visualizing those healthy choices can lead to actual weight loss in the real world.
That's pretty incredible.
Mm.
What else are researchers finding?
So another interesting study, this one was from McMaster University,
Yep.
and it focused on the brain activity of weightlifters. And what they found was that simply visualizing lifting weights actually activated the same neural pathways
Really?
and led to similar muscle growth as actually lifting weights.
So even just imagining
Yes.
can have a physical impact.
It's incredible, right? It highlights the power of the mind-body connection and how our thoughts can actually shape our physical reality.
This is so fascinating. I'm
Yeah.
completely blown away.
It's really cool stuff.
And you know what? Speaking of shaping reality, I want to remind our listeners that if you're looking for a simple and healthy way to support weight loss, you can visit https://airy.ll/weightloss or click on the link in the description of this podcast.
It's definitely a tool worth exploring, and as we dive deeper,
Yeah.
we'll get into more of the specifics of how to effectively use visualization for weight loss.
Okay.
But first, I think it's important to understand why this technique is so effective.
Yeah, let's get into that. Why does visualizing something make it more likely that we'll do it?
That's a great question. One of the key reasons is that visualization helps to reduce anxiety about change.
Okay.
When we mentally rehearse a situation, especially a challenging one,
Yeah.
we're basically building up our emotional preparedness.
So instead of feeling overwhelmed
Exactly.
by the idea of making big changes, we've already kind of walked through those challenges in our minds.
Exactly. We're creating this mental roadmap that guides us through the process and makes the whole journey feel less daunting.
And by reducing that anxiety, we're more likely to actually take action and stick with our goals.
That's right. It's about shifting from a place of fear and overwhelm to a place of empowerment and control. When we feel more confident in our ability to handle challenges,
Yeah.
we're more likely to embrace change and actually make it happen. And it's not just about like reducing anxiety. Visualization can actually play a key role in changing our behavior too.
Okay, I'm really curious about that.
Mhm.
How does picturing something in my mind actually lead to me, like, changing my actions in the real world?
Well, you know how we were talking about those neural pathways earlier? Well,
Yeah.
the more we visualize ourselves making a specific choice,
Hmm.
the more we're reinforcing that pathway in our brains. It's like practicing a skill over and over again.
Right.
Eventually, it just becomes second nature.
So if I'm like repeatedly visualizing myself choosing the salad over the fries,
Yeah.
my brain starts to associate that choice with like a positive outcome,
Yeah.
and it makes me more likely to actually grab the salad when I'm at the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. And over time, those repeated visualizations, they can actually start to shift our subconscious patterns.
Wow.
So those healthy choices start to feel a lot more automatic
Okay.
and they're more aligned with our deeper
So
desires.
it's like we're rewiring our brains to actually crave those healthier options.
In a way, yeah. And there's another really fascinating aspect to this too. Visualization can actually help us tap into the power of our
Right.
emotions to drive positive change.
Tell me more about that connection between visualization and emotions.
All right, so when we visualize something that we really truly desire,
Hmm.
our brains release these neurochemicals like dopamine and
Oh
endorphins,
yeah, I've heard of those.
which are associated with pleasure and motivation.
So by like vividly imagining myself like achieving my weight loss goals and like experiencing all the positive feelings that come with that, the
Yeah.
confidence, the energy, the pride,
Hmm.
I'm actually triggering those feel-good chemicals in my brain.
That's exactly right. And those positive emotions, they can be incredibly powerful motivators. They fuel our desire to keep going even when things get tough.
So it's like giving ourselves a little dose of inspiration every time we visualize.
Exactly. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Those positive emotions also help us build resilience.
Resilience, like our
Yeah.
ability to bounce back from setbacks.
You got it. So when we face challenges, and we inevitably will on any weight loss journey,
Right.
those positive emotions that we've cultivated through visualization can help us stay focused and committed.
So instead of like, totally getting derailed by a craving or like a missed workout,
Yeah,
we can tap into that reservoir of positive feelings and keep ourselves motivated.
exactly. That's the power of visualization. It's not just about picturing the end goal. It's also about cultivating the emotional strength and resilience to navigate all the ups and downs that come along the way.
Yeah, I love that. It's like we're creating this positive feedback loop.
Right.
Visualization leads to positive emotions, which fuels our motivation and resilience,
Yes.
which then makes us more likely to actually stick with our goals and achieve success.
That's a great way to put it. It's this really dynamic and powerful process
Yeah.
that can truly transform our relationship with weight loss and with ourselves.
Okay, so we've talked about the science behind visualization
Yeah.
and like why it works.
Hmm.
But now I think our listeners are probably eager to hear about some real life examples.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you share any stories of people who've like successfully used this to achieve their weight loss goals?
Absolutely. There are so many inspiring stories out there.
Yeah.
Take Sarah, for instance.
Okay.
She had struggled with her weight for years, trying countless diets and exercise programs
Oh yeah, I know that
with
feeling.
very little success.
What was different for Sarah? Like, how did visualization come into play?
So Sarah, she decided to try a new approach.
Right.
She started incorporating visualization into her daily routine.
Okay.
She would spend a few minutes each morning
Hmm.
vividly imagining herself at her goal weight, feeling confident and healthy, wearing clothes she loved, and even engaging in activities that she'd always wanted to try.
So she was really creating like a detailed picture
Yeah.
of her ideal self
Exactly.
and like the life she wanted to live.
And she didn't just visualize the end result.
Right.
She also visualized herself making those healthy choices throughout the day.
Okay.
Like packing nutritious lunches,
Mhm.
opting for walks during her break,
Yeah.
choosing fruit over sugary snacks.
So she was really using it to both inspire herself with the goals,
Yes,
but then also rehearse the everyday choices
Yes,
that would
sir.
get her there.
that's right. And something really remarkable started to happen.
What's that?
Sarah found herself making healthier choices,
Okay.
much more effortlessly.
Wow.
Those visualizations had created this really powerful shift in her mindset.
Mm-hmm.
She was no longer feeling deprived or restricted.
Okay.
She was feeling empowered and motivated.
So it wasn't like willpower forcing her to make those choices anymore. It was like they were more aligned with her desires and her vision for herself.
Exactly. And the results were amazing.
Yeah.
Sarah not only lost weight,
Mm-hmm.
but she also gained this newfound sense of confidence and well-being.
That's so inspiring. It really shows how visualization can be more than just a technique.
Yeah,
It can be like this catalyst for like lasting transformation.
absolutely. And it's not just about weight loss either.
Right.
Visualization can be such a powerful tool for achieving any goal that matters to us.
And speaking of goals, I want to remind our listeners that if you are looking for a simple and healthy way to support weight loss from home, you can visit https://re.l weight loss or click on the link in the description of this podcast.
Now let's get into some specific visualization techniques that you can start using right away. Okay, so let's get practical here. We've talked about the science, we've
Yeah.
heard an inspiring story.
Right.
Now, how can our listeners actually use visualization
Yeah.
to support their own weight loss journeys?
Give us the techniques. Where do we even begin?
Well, one of the most effective techniques is called outcome visualization.
Yeah, okay.
And it's all about creating a really vivid mental picture of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
having already achieved that desired outcome.
So if my goal is to lose like 15 pounds,
Yeah.
I would close my eyes and imagine myself 15 pounds lighter.
Yes. But don't just stop there.
Okay.
Engage all your senses. Picture yourself wearing clothes that you love,
Okay.
feeling super confident and energetic. Maybe even imagine receiving compliments from friends. Like, really feel what that would be like.
So I'm like stepping into this movie scene where I'm the star of my own weight loss success story.
Exactly. And another powerful technique is called process visualization.
Okay.
And this is where you focus on visualizing the steps you need to take to reach your goal.
So instead of just picturing the end result,
Right.
I'd be imagining myself making healthy choices throughout my day,
Exactly.
like packing a nutritious lunch
Yes.
or choosing the salad over the fries.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just about the actions themselves.
Yeah.
It's about visualizing yourself feeling empowered and motivated
Wow.
to make those choices.
I'm not just going through the motions. I'm
Yeah.
like feeling good about these choices,
Yeah.
feeling proud of my commitment.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are some other tips to make these visualizations more effective?
Well, one thing you can do is make them as specific and detailed as possible.
Okay.
So instead of just visualizing eating healthy,
Yeah.
imagine yourself enjoying a really colorful salad with grilled chicken
Okay.
and like a delicious vinaigrette dressing.
I love that.
Engage all of your senses. The more vivid the picture, the better.
Okay, so we have outcome visualization for the big picture. We have
Mhm.
process visualization for the everyday steps.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Another really helpful technique is called anchoring.
Anchoring.
Yeah. And this involves associating a physical sensation
Okay.
with a desired feeling or state of mind.
Okay.
So, for example, you could choose a specific hand gesture
Okay.
or touch a certain object while you're visualizing yourself
Yeah.
feeling confident and motivated.
So like every time I make that gesture or touch that object,
Right.
I'm triggering those positive feelings
Exactly.
and those neural pathways.
Exactly. And remember, consistency is key here. Even
Yeah.
just taking a few minutes each day
Yeah.
to do some dedicated visualization can make a big difference.
So it's like anything else, the more you practice,
Yeah,
the more natural it becomes.
exactly. And don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away.
Right.
Visualization is a powerful tool, but it's not magic.
Yeah.
It takes time and consistent effort to really rewire those neural pathways and create lasting change.
It's a journey, not a quick fix.
Exactly.
And speaking of journeys, for those looking for a simple and healthy way to support weight loss, remember to check out https://rel-show weight loss or click the link in the description.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to share one final thought with you.
Okay.
Visualization, it isn't just about achieving that specific goal. It's really about cultivating this deeper connection with ourselves and with our desires. It's about tapping into that inner power to create the life we truly want.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not just about losing weight.
Yeah,
It's about like becoming the best version of ourselves.
exactly. And remember, the power to change is already within you.
Mm.
So start visualizing and watch those dreams become reality.
This has been an awesome deep dive into the power of visualization.
Yeah, it has.
Thank you so much for all of your expertise and insights.
It's been my pleasure.
And to all our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Remember, you have the power to create the life you desire. Start visualizing and watch as those visions become your reality. Until next time, keep diving deep.